68. I just turned 68.
Hi, ladies. I am just going live. Who's in here? Julia?
Hi.
Hi, girl. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good.
Friday.
Happy Friday is right. I love my Fridays. Let me just make sure. I'm just getting us to go live.
Okay.
In 4 disciplines of execution. Leadership lobby. So how was your week, girls? How was your week? What's one good thing? Tell me something good.
I got a lot of what I wanted to get done.
Doesn't that feel good?
It feels really good. You know, like you could go into the weekend knowing, you know, you accomplished most of what you wanted to get done. For me, that's key.
Yeah. How about you, Nabila? Tell me something good.
Just reaching out to my database and getting response back, which is great. And nurturing a for sale by owner. So
awesome.
That's all.
Just a regular Friday.
Little every day. Yeah.
Love it. Okay. And Nabila, I don't know if you were the one that posted it, but somebody had posted financing for Muslim culture. And you know, this is leadership lobby. I think this is something important to understand. I am ignorant to it. So can you just share with me what that fear is and if there is some special way of financing?
I'm not an expert either. So sorry, it's really noisy here. But so basically in Islam, we say that we can't pay interest. It's a sin. So it stops. I know many from my community, they don't consider home ownership because then they would have to take a mortgage and then you pay interest. So, you know, this is just another alternative way where instead of paying interest, they call it profit, and they just incorporate a certain amount every month that you have to. So guidance residential, they say that you have a partnership with them. So you own a house with them. Say you put in $30,000 for $100,000 house, so you own 30%, and they put in the 70%, and then every month as you're paying like rent, paying for paying for residing in the portion of their property, you're getting more and more ownership of that property. So
Okay.
eventually you'll have total ownership of it. And they say they share like if there are any damages or anything like that, they share that with you.
With probably the
So
percentage that you own it with them.
yeah, so
Okay.
I'm looking into it because I wasn't 100% on board with it, but I mean it's a great option
Option,
for
sure.
people to consider.
Great.
That's all
Awesome.
I know.
Well, thank you. No, I mean, just to open up conversations like that, because we talk about building social equity, and that was honestly, as a leader, that was not, I didn't know that would block a community from building equity in home ownership. If we don't find solutions to come up with so that a part of our world can participate in the blessings that do come with home ownership. So I love that there is that opportunity. I know in some other cultures there are different types of shared saving programs, and then you can buy a house. I know there's is it a Sisu Dominican, is it Sisu? Is that what it's called? A susu, which is kind of like when you have Christian health share, where you're not paying into an insurance company, but you're paying into a health share, and it's actually like self-insured, but it's a group of, and we have a Good Samaritan healthcare. I think it's a Christian based, where you're paying in, and then that shared group is actually providing insurance. God forbid you were to go to the hospital or whatnot, it's coming out of that pot. And that kind of similar to working in the Dominican susu. So anyway, it's always great to learn about different cultures and just be aware. And as I was watching that, I was like, I'm really ignorant to that, and I don't want to be. So I'm always learning based. As a leader, you have to be learning based.
I spoke to the representative because I wanted to learn more about it, and they have webinars once a month, and I asked if they would be interested in holding one for our
fantastic.
office. Yeah,
That would be great. We could throw it right in the lobby. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about leadership. Thank you so much, Nabila. I have a little simple thing for you. One is you always need to be thinking about where you're going to be in 5 years from now, because what you're doing today is absolutely going to affect that path. And if you're going to stray off that path, or if you're going to even probably hit it sooner than 5 years. And a lot of people will express it. And being a leader for many years in the industry, I'm always asking, like, what's your 5-year goal? What's your 1-year goal? What's your 3-year goal? And it amazes me how many people just don't dream big enough for themselves. And so I encourage you to dream. I would share with you, if you're not talking about it, if you're not writing it, if you're not, researching it to see, well, let me see what that, you're not going to get any closer to where you want to go. However, some of us hold ourselves back because we have these limiting beliefs that, like, not me, I'm not ready yet. I'm not there yet. So why should I even start looking at it? And I'll tell you, here's something that happened on my birthday. So March 2nd was my birthday, Tuesday. Woohoo!
And Piscean.
Yes, I am Pisces. Hence the Frida artsy fartsy Pisces. Is that I've had a dream since I went to Africa in 2013 to own land and build a peanut butter factory in Africa to help provide for the village that I stayed in. Understanding the knowledge of business that I have and the experience that I've had in life, when I went to Africa, I'm always like, well, we could do this, we could do that, we could. And so on Tuesday, because I've spoken about it, I've written it down, I've researched land, I've stayed in touch, I've reached out to other people that live in Africa or live here that are from Africa. So on Tuesday, I was able to connect myself with somebody who owns the Keller Williams in Kissimmee, who is from Kenya. And she and my friend Luca from Tanzania and myself, we were on a Zoom. And we are positioning to buy 2 acres of land in Africa.
That's amazing.
So excited. However, that was 7 years ago, 8 years ago that I put that out there. And did I get it in 5 years? No. Are we even there right now? No. But it's so much closer to being a reality. And now it's so much even more real, because when I included other people, so this goes back to the law of inner circle. Who's in your inner circle? Who are we talking to? This also goes to the bold law of you grow into the conversations that are being had around you. You know, hopefully this inspires you to tap into a dream that maybe you've had, that you've lost, you've put on a shelf, you've said, hey, not right now. You know, I know with Nabila, she has lots of children. She might have said, yeah, when the kids get older, after that section of my life, I thought it was going to be this and now it's that. No, I want you to take that dream, put it back up in front of you and say, I could do it while the kids are little, even though the kids are little. But now it's a reality, and I'm just so excited about it. And what it even, after connecting with the law of inner circle, I like to keep Ogla close to me. She said, she gave us a great idea as to now when they pay me back for the money I would spend on the 2 acres, that will be a fund for us to now buy the building, because I really want to buy the building to then have the factory. So everything is a step closer, because I've put it out there. I've asked for the help. I've surrounded myself with the people that can maybe make it happen or not. You're going to have to go through some conversations with people. Some of us are talking about, this is another aspect, flipping houses. We get into the real estate industry and we think that's really, that would be awesome if I could start flipping houses. And as an addition to what you do now, I'm looking for people that are, and I'm following people and I'm listening to stories. And then what comes on my feed is a friend of mine who now flipped 15 houses last year. Nice. And then we connected, right? And so now he's coming down for lunch, because I'm like, I want to be in your brain. Like, what did you do? Because he literally disappeared like 3 years ago. I'm like, where did he go? Now he's back. And he flipped 15 houses last year, right? Some people that are on a health journey, like, where do you want to be 5 years from now in your health? I think that that's one of the most important things that we have to really consider, guys, is especially in a business like this. And I'm feeling it. Today was my day 2 out there walking. Hold up, just don't let him go out. So day 2 walking, and I had to have some accountability in that, like ask my husband to check in on me, making sure I'm going walking. But if we're not worried about our health, in a year, 2 years, 3 years, we could be on our path to dying if we're not taking care of some things in our health. And that goes to even real life stories, like weight in the belly, around our organs. God forbid we were to get COVID and we're not our healthiest. Doesn't matter how old we are. We're seeing all sorts of, situations where it's not working out.
No joke.
It is no joke. It is no joke. And to think that this might be the last or the only scare of a virus or whatnot. I mean, we're at the end of times here. So that's one thing. I want to bring up an amazing course that I was introduced to. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. We have my dog at work today and it's not fun. All right. Is this right here, and I'm going to show it to you on the screen, is the 4 disciplines of execution. Okay. The 4 disciplines of execution. And this is something that I know Al Donahue has brought to the group. Years ago, this was something that was brought through the region. I would encourage you to go and watch some videos on it. This is the 4 disciplines of execution in a nutshell, by Covey. And
is this on YouTube?
No, it's the franklincoveynorth.com.
Okay.
I'll go ahead, and you can find it on YouTube for sure. But here are the 4 disciplines of execution, and I want to talk about it in real life situation. Focus on the wildly important. Okay, exceptional execution starts with narrowing the focus, clearly identifying what must be done or nothing else you can achieve really matters. What does that sound like? Anything familiar in KW? It sounds like the one thing, right? It sounds like, what is the one thing, which is our one thing book. What is the one thing that by doing such, everything is unnecessary and you still get done what you need to get done? So the first one is focus on the wildly important goals. And I will share a little bit about that. Then act on the lead measures. 20% of the activities produce 80% of your results. Does that sound like anything that we talk about, KW? So that is the Pareto's principle. That is the 80-20 rule. That's one of our 6 personal perspectives, is to focus on the 80-20. And so the highest predictors of goal achievement are 80%, 80-20 activities that are identified and codified into individual actions and then tracked fanatically. So then that's the next one, is keep a compelling scoreboard. Keep a compelling scoreboard. People and teams play differently when they are keeping score. And the right kind of scoreboards motivate the players to win. The right kind of scoreboards, because if we're going to have the wrong kind of things tracked, some people could feel like they're really achieving and they're not. And the ones who are really achieving aren't getting rewarded. So a scoreboard is always, and people or activities, if it's for yourself and it's independent, you're going to be tracking some of your activities. And the fourth thing is create a cadence of accountability. Great performers thrive in a culture of accountability that is frequent, positive, and self-directed. Each team engages in a simple weekly process that highlights successes, analyzes failures, and course corrects as necessary, creating the ultimate performance management system. So here's what I want to talk about: wildly important goals. Act on lead measures, keep a scoreboard, and then be accountable. So 1, wildly important goals, and lead measures and lag measures. Okay, follow me with this. Do you want to lose 10 pounds? The wildly important goal is that you lose 10 pounds. And everybody can kind of, I want to gain 10. My husband wants to gain 10 pounds. I want to lose 10 pounds. So it goes both ways. But there's one, what is the one lead measure that ends up showing up in the lag measure? So the lag measure is you lost 10 pounds. So anybody could jump on the scale. We see we lost 10 pounds. We're excited. We gained 10 pounds. We're defeated. There's emotions that get attached to our lag measure result. But the lead measure results, which is calories in, calories out, exercise and food, water, diet, sleep. Those are things that you can track on a daily to say, did I get my water in? Did I go to sleep on time? Did I manage my calories in? And did I burn enough calories out? Okay, I did those. On to the next day. Did I do that? Did I do that? On to the next day. Eventually, the lag measure, it's a lag result, is going to show up.
It's pretty much being consistent.
Yes.
What you do.
Well, and then that's where the number 4 comes in, is the accountability of it. So coming into a group to be able to say, now, why did Weight Watchers work so well? I mean, this is still on the weight thing, but Weight Watchers work so well because every week you were going to go and measure your lag measure, your lag result. And then that was going to tell you, did you need to adjust your lead measures? So now when we take it to real estate, what is one, and Nabila, you've been doing it a little bit longer. What is one wild, and focus on the one, what is one wildly important goal for you right now?
Reaching out to all of my contacts.
Okay, so would you say that that is a lead or a lag? What is the goal that you are trying to accomplish by reaching out to all of your contacts?
Capping.
Capping. Okay, great, perfect. So that is a great lag measure. The goal, the wildly important goal for Nabila is to cap. So the wildly important goal is to create X amount of dollars, 123,000, so she can cap. Well, what do you think are going to be a lead measure to that?
Lead generation. Lead
generation, which is calling all of your sphere of influence contacts to converting to what's the lag measure? Listings taken, contracts written, so that the wildly important goal shows up. But consistency and measuring. So what does this look like? Well, it looks like on Mondays when you get the text message that says, here's your accountability form, you actually click on it and you fill it out. That's one thing you could do. Besides that, there's really nothing else. And so, and we're talking about business, there really is nothing else. If those are not your categories, that's fine. Then make your own categories. But here's what it comes down to. How many people did you talk to today? How many appointments did you set? Then how many did you go on? How many contracts did you write? And how many did you close? That's all going to be tracked so that you can hit that wildly important goal, which will be a lag measure that shows up in listings taken, contracts written. But the lead measure that you have to measure, that you have to track, is how many people did I talk to? Now, if you talk to 8 to 10 people a day, you still might not come out of it with an appointment. So if you're measuring that for a week, let's say, and you're like, yeah, well, I talk to 8 people every day. Did you get any appointments, Nabila? No. Okay, well, obviously that lead measure isn't what's going to get you the lag result. Let's up the lead measure then. And there's nothing wrong with monitoring that and adjusting weekly to say, I tried it, it didn't work. Not that I tried it, I did it. This is what I did. It didn't get me the result I was looking for. I need to adjust the front end. So often people are looking to adjust the end. Here's a great example. And I know that there are times where people need to get surgeries. But when somebody goes and jumps and gets the belly surgery and shrinks down the stomach so that the body is forced to go ahead and drop that weight, that's like skipping over all the steps that it's really going to take you to get to really getting that wildly important goal accomplished. So then, did we really learn the habits, as you said, Julia, before, consistency? Did you really learn the habits that it's going to take to get this to be a sustainable result? Because I'm sure, Nabila, you don't want to just cap one year. You want to cap and you want to build a business off of that capping year. Capping is her first goal. Once she hits the cap, I'm going to ask her, Nabila, what's your next goal? Now it should be adjusting. It should be, I want to break into this market and I want to actually double my income now. And now we're going to, maybe now the lead measure is going to change because the lag measure has changed. Now she's looking for a contract every week, whereas right now she's just looking for a contract every month. But this is anything in life, as we just talked about, weight and health versus business and money. It could be something with relationships. How about relationships? Because I'll tell you, relationships are extremely important. I get very concerned. I've been talking to, since my aunt passed away, and then I was talking to my other aunt the other day, and we were talking about God and dying and what's life after that. And it just got into a whole story. But what it brought us back to was what we do with our time here matters. We do not know what happens. You know, God knows, and that's for him to know, and we'll find out. But what we do have is we have the time that we have here. We have the few minutes that you spend with those relationships, or you rush through them, or so now I ask you to go and say, what is a wildly important goal in some of the relationships you have? You know, if I could, if I could have my father.
It's creating the memories while you're still here, for not just you, but for the people around you in your circle. You know, you want to create memories, so that'll just keep going on.
Absolutely. And if that's not important to you, it's fine. But when you look at the relationships and like, what are we here for? What are we here for this life? And what do we want to accomplish? When we look at it, sometimes we are so committed to the business and the lane that we're in, or our health, and we're working out every day and that's all we're doing, that we forget to pick up and realize why we're even doing it, because there's people around us that we're doing it for. And so while you're running the play on the business or running the play on your health, always be sure you're running the play on your relationships, and don't take people for granted, because it's very easy to do that in this business because we just expect that they're going to be there. You get
lost in your everyday routines, and it is great. I totally agree with what you're saying. Stop, take a minute, and make sure that you're including these people in your journey as well, because I'm sure they want to, whether it be your family, friends,
both.
Yeah.
And for all the times that my dad would say, hey, you want to come for lunch? And I'm like, Dad, I am too busy. I can't stop and go to the house was 5 minutes from my office. It was a matter of taking an hour out of my day. So here's what I would say, because I don't have my dad anymore. But here's what I would say is, could have I shifted, like if that was a wildly important goal, well, then I need to make sure I'm getting that time in with him. What could have I shifted that I could have made up that hour? Maybe 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, a half hour in the morning, get to the office a little earlier. Figure out what's important to you. Figure out what your wildly important goal is. Understand what your lead measure is, your lag measure. Track the stuff, and then have some sort of accountability. Now, like I said to you, I sent a picture to my husband because I found a tire when I was on the walk that I like one of those big old tires, like monster tires that you can like take a sledgehammer and I don't know. That was one of my workouts when I was doing like boot camp. But he doesn't know that I'm doing it this way, but I'm sending him pictures on every walk because I want him to know that I'm doing it. The minute that I stop doing it, he'll probably go, "What, you didn't walk today?" And then that will make me feel guilt, and then that will get me back on the horse. So, we have to play games with ourselves, but I think that the most important thing is, and we'll sum it up this way, is know where you're headed in 5 years in all the areas of your life, not just the business. Where is the ideal you in 5 years? Because you could be whoever you want to be. Figure out what your one thing is, get committed to identify what is the one thing in health. What is the one thing in my relationships with my children, with my husband, with my friends, with my mother, and then figure out for yourselves as to, well, if that's what I want to accomplish, what do I need to be attached to? If I get attached to how many contacts I made, and then next week I measure, what did that result? What did that lag measure show up as? Now, back to the weight for 1 second is there are times, and I've been through this, dairy and legumes are no good for me. Although they may be very extremely healthy, eat some Greek yogurt and put some beans in your diet. Well, as I was tracking, and I was with a nutritionist at one point, through tracking, I realized that literally was keeping even though I was getting healthier, of course, I was not getting the result of the dropping weight because my body was not receiving it that way. So if we're talking business for a second, if Nabila's having great success with her for sale by owners, but Julia is trying that because she heard Nabila is, and she's not having success with that, it may be that you need to understand who you are, meet yourself where you are, and think about what are those strengths. Maybe I should be doing sphere of influence. Maybe I should do circle prospecting. But you'll only be able to pivot like that if you're truly doing the work and you're truly tracking it and truly assessing it and staying accountable to it. All right, girls. Thanks for your time.
That was great. Thank you.
I always
Thank
seem to
you.
cry on Friday with this. It's so ridiculous. But I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, enjoy your
Thank you.
families, and
Okay.
and stay committed to your activities. Okay.
Thank you. Have a great day.
God bless.